Sridhar, welcome back. I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, still on some IV medications. This medication had to be, some antibiotics had to be taken through IV, so I'm
Oh,
still, but now better. I can
okay.
sit and attend meetings.
Glad to hear it.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Yeah,
Yeah, me too. That sounds pretty severe.
yeah, thanks.
I'm glad as well.
Okay, let's wait for 2 more minutes and then get started. Hey, hi Ranjit, good morning.
Yes, Sridhar. Good
I
evening.
just I
Good
just
evening.
finished a meeting with Krishna.
Very
Uh,
nice, Sridhar. Yeah.
Yeah, I just caught up with him and explained him where we are, what we're doing.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll represent Intel for I don't know for how long, but thanks for the welcome and looking forward to
Sure.
supporting you and the team.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you all.
Just 1 more minute and then get started. Okay, then let's get started. Good morning, good day, everybody. Uh, we other than the voting members, we do not have a quorum. We have Sam, of course. Ansi is, I thought he'll join. I had him by default. Yeah, maybe he will join later. We have Sagar. I just like to introduce quickly to everybody. We have Sagar Arora from OpenAI Interface. Hi, Sagar. Would you like to tell a few words about yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. I work at OpenAI Interface Software Alliance. I'm a solutions architect there. I mostly take care of data center and packaging of all OpenAI Interface network functions. I'm not sure if all of you are aware about OpenAI Interface. It's an open source project. Been there since 2014, and we developed first in the 4G open source 4G RAN and core network, and then now we're working in 5G. We worked in 5G, and now we are also going towards 6G. And actually, this lab also provides us the possibility to add more network, like more DPUs to our stack where we can try different things. Like today in our lab, we mostly have PF3, but that is NVIDIA Bluefield 3 DPU, and apart from that, we don't have any other DPUs, and we're gonna get more. But we wanted to try on some older DPUs as well, so this way we can see if our that like different functions of a software stack they work in different DPUs. So this way, OpenAI interface software is more vendor agnostic or vendor agnostic. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. So just to add, they are our associate members. You can see them. Okay. Then let's get going. So Paul, do we have any update on this one? Do we have this NetSec card already onboarded? I think you had opened the ticket to install these cards, right?
Yes, I did open a ticket to install the cards. We got the cards installed and found that the optics, it came with a DAC cable that does not work with our switch. So I believe it had SFP and we need QSFP for our switch. So we need to determine which optics need to be ordered and cable and order those. I did try to order those through the Hurricane Electric portal. They don't have the proper optics in place, so we'll need to order those and get those coming. It also is missing the out of band USB cable. It came with a cable, but it was too short to plug into the port on the back of the host that it's in. So two different
Okay,
things
so
that need to be
yeah.
ordered. Need to get those ordered.
So we have two cards in place, Paul. One is from Amazon and another is from CW. If you want to use one of these two, we have those credit cards ready. I can
Okay,
just buy
great.
it.
Great. I will I'll find the part numbers and from probably CDW. Do I just send them to you and then you can order them and have them delivered?
Yes.
Okay,
So
perfect.
I have this dedicated virtual cards for these two, Amazon and CW. Yeah.
I will go because I did ask for I did ask to find which optics I needed from the NetSec team, Snaho team, and they did get back to me, I think at the end of last week, and I need to find that email and just simply order them. I'll send it to you.
Okay. CW or Amazon. If you guys need anything from Amazon, let me know. Just kidding. Okay. Hi, Sam. Do you have any update on this part? How are the things going on? Are we like on track for this demo? Can Balas do a demo?
Yeah, it should be all set. I'm working. He's very busy right now, of course, with at Red Hat and all everything. But I'm working on preparing like a demo for him and everything, so that should help for him to present. And then also, I'm just running a last. I'm running the changes from the DP operator on the actual OpenShift repo as well to just check that it passes their CI and everything. Just to make sure it didn't like break anything. But other than that, William has basically reviewed a lot of it and everything and haven't found any problems. So after it passes and everything, I can always just merge it and then it should be all set in the OPI project organization for that one. And then an update also for the OCP demo is that we were thinking. So Balaj, I think is wanting to present, of course, the multi-vendor demo that he did last time with OpenShift and everything. But we also I checked with him and William and everything, and it made sense to also maybe showcase how the upstream stuff works now, like just a little like future ahead for vendors to be able to look at it and be like, okay, that makes sense. That would be good to be able to have a lower barrier to entry and everything, to be able to deploy it in vanilla Kubernetes, which is what we've been working on. So as a secondary demo material, we'll also add a little bit about that. So
And do you? I think Jill might have reached out to you or Balaz. I think Balaz is busy. Maybe he would not have seen. If you need any help with respect to talking about this demo in LinkedIn, anything, Jill can definitely help. So maybe if you can talk to Balaz and get some info, or if you can create some kind of a material and send it to us, we can put it out in LinkedIn and other places about this demo so that people can come and visit us in the demo.
Yep, that makes sense. I think we're already in contact with Jill already as well.
Okay, good.
So should be all set. Thank you.
Good.
And then yeah, another thing that I had for the operator, and then also for the demo, if it was able to happen, is also just um so I was looking to the using the Marvell card, one of the other cards in the meanwhile that we don't have the NetSec working yet. And so I saw that I think someone responded back asking for more information for the Marvell card not being in a weird state. So I'm gonna look into that as well. But I also wanted to know if there's a way for us to get a GitHub runner, the same similar that we have for the OPI POC repo, but get it also for the DP operator, because then it would be easy to just make a CI for it. Because basically right now I already kind of have like a easy command in TGN1 that I can just run the whole uh, pipeline basically that I use to test my changes on the DP operator.
Oh. So this GitHub runner you want is in a public cloud or in our lab itself?
In our lab, yeah, like similar to the the OPI POC repo, using right now I'm using the TGen1 as the main place where I deploy the VMs and all that stuff, and then also I connect to the DH4 for the IPU. So that would be kind of what we would need, if that makes
So,
sense.
so you're asking, I assume you can deploy the runner software. What you need is like a key to hook it up to the GitLab, OPI GitLab. Is that what you're asking?
Exactly, yeah. If anything that since I don't have like access to specific things, if anyone could coordinate with me on the other side to get there.
Yeah. So I feel like this request is fine, and I think Sridhar has the privileges
Yes,
to make this happen.
definitely. So you can email me, Sam. I I
Mhm.
uh, I would have missed some of the what is that Slack messages because of my health issues. If you can email me now, I will take a look at it and definitely get it done.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So on the next part, this PR is merged. Thanks, Simon. Now that blueprint document is clean and neat. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry for
So yeah. So next is on this OAI topic, right? So I believe Sagar, for them to showcase work on this particular topic of UPF offloading or any RAN side or the core side, I'm not fully sure. He would also need to work with our OPI lab. So the reason, one of the main reason also to hear Sagar is here to understand the processes there. The link already the lab GitHub already explains the process neatly, but I requested him to first like join the TSC call and tell them like what you plan to do so that they keep track of what's happening in the lab also. So Sagar, what are your next actions, kind of very next actions? What do you need from OPI?
So at the moment, I would like to see what kind of whatever cards you have, what is the infrastructure which is available there, how it can be accessed, what is the way to access them, and then right now what we are trying to do is that we are trying to run certain functions of the layer one of the RAN in the DPU itself. So we are trying to do some offload on the DPU, and we are trying to study that. And parallelly, we have another project where we are working on using the DPUs for UPF as well. So at this current stage, I would just like to see what's there. So and then at the same point of time, since we are developing right now, we can compare the performances. on and off. So we're not going to use it like all the time. Like, for example, if we have something, we will run it there, see the difference between the different DPUs which are there, so that we can have a comparison. And from the day one, we can make sure that whatever we write is adaptable and can be used in different DPUs. So it's mostly for interoperability, I would say.
Yeah. See, first thing on the hardware side, right? Intel is our member, so we can get a very good support from the Intel side. The Marvel and Nvidia's, I'm not sure if we can get really any response or support from their side because they stopped being our member some time back. But from Intel, I'm if even Ranjit is here, he can also add it. I'm pretty sure you can get definitely a support from the hardware side. Secondly, maybe I'll ask Simon to add on this one. Importantly, we would bring back some APIs, kind of a sort of a thing to OPIs. In your work, do you foresee any sort of APIs that you would see that we need to support in our DPUs and IPUs, which is a multi-vendor or generic APIs, I think, which can be useful for your use case, so that OPI can create such APIs in their repository.
I mean, at the moment, I won't have the visibility to provide you an answer for that particular question. For that, I would like to explore a little bit what's there, and then I can
Okay.
request you for something like that. Because at the moment, what we do is that we access via SSH the DPU, and then we develop for the moment. So we are currently really at that stage of development. So I won't be able to provide you any inclusion about the APIs.
Oh, so you'll be using DPU, I mean DPU IPU as a standalone device?
I mean, yeah, not really as a standalone, of course, along with another host where it's
Mm-hmm.
attached. So because some of the things which will run on the host, and then some of the things which will run on the DPU itself. Normally, the work which we are doing in with Bluefield 3, which there we are looking for DMA transfers between the host and the DPU. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I think not every DPU is the same way. So that is the thing which needs to be seen as well. That how different DPUs behave when we interact between host and the DPU.
So I guess
Right.
at this point, you're just trying to offload the UPF, so the data plane only runs on the IPU and control plane runs on the host. Is that at a high level what you're thinking about?
That is one way of looking at it, exactly. But then apart from that, similarly, we are trying to offload some layer one functions also for RAN, and there also that's what we are looking at. Because I cannot really tell exactly which layer one function, because at what layer and where we will stop, because right now since we're also testing, but since we can think about it that some certain threads gonna run in the DPU, and then other threads they run on the host, and then we do a DMA transfer between them and see that if that really helps. And similarly for the control plane also, in the UPF also, we will see if the best way would be to do a DMA transfer. If it's better, else we will find another way of communicating.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I interrupted someone else. Okay.
But, so will it be possible to access or not at this stage?
It is definitely possible to access the lab. I'd want you to work with Sam really closely because he's setting up a demo for the OCP conference. But yes, it's definitely possible. One of the ways that in order to actually access the lab, there's a VPN that is used for that. I will have to create you a username and password combo that you'll change the password on the first time you connect. So if you would send me in Slack or even in this chat would be fine, the email addresses and preferred usernames of for that, what I'll do is send to your email a initial password and instructions on how to access it.
Okay, sounds good. I'll just send you straight away on Slack. Right there.
Okay.
Right. Thank you.
And if you go to the GitHub, there's instructions on how to access the lab, how to download the client that you'll need, that sort of stuff. That's all there on the Slack README for the, I believe it's OPI Project's lab repository.
Exactly. I found that lab repository. It's on GitHub. Yeah, I have that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll just send you a message.
Perfect. I'll get that taken care of.
Anybody has any other questions to Sagar? So yeah, so the next step would be, Sagar, for you to get access to the lab and try to see what you can do with that.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining, by the way. Anybody has any other topics?
No, yes, Fidel. You did send me and others email about the release in the
Oh,
last day.
yeah. Huh. Hmm.
Do you want to discuss that?
Yes, please. Yes. So I have sent an email to the maintainers. So last time I mentioned the 12 repos does not have tags. So we need to tag it before we make the first release, of course. I have requested the maintainers if they're okay with us doing the tagging, or they will do it, or if tagging is really required. Because TSC, all the TSC members agreed that we do need tags for these each and every repos which associate to a single release. So now the question is, I will wait for the maintainers to respond. If they say, if they bless this approach and go ahead and to tag us, I will first reach out to these contributors if they can tag themselves, or else we will not wait for too much, give them a week's time, or else we will go ahead and tag it ourselves and continue with the release.
Okay. I mean, I guess there is scope to leave some repos out of the release, but I don't know if we have a way to figure out for which ones that makes sense and for which ones it doesn't.
See, for example, the OPI repo itself, we need not have to be part of the release. So there's some of the documentation only, or the lab only, these repos we can keep it out of the release. We have those list of repos that will be out of the release. I can show that, which does not have
Okay.
any source code, or it's mostly like policies, the documentation, these kind of things.
So those the 12 you've listed, we want in the
That won't be
release.
released. Yeah, that won't be part of the release.
So sorry, the 12 repos that you were in point one, we want.
Oh, no. This 12 repos does not include those repos.
Yeah, I get it. Thank you.
Bonus for a week. So we want to target release date should be, let's target for like 30th April, this end of this month.
Better than the 1st of April.
Okay. So next week is our governing board meeting. Any of the TSC members wants to bring up any topic to the governing board? I have I was mentioning like 30 minutes back, I was discussing with Intel's governing board representative Krishna. So he was he would like to join and explain the very important use case from Intel side also, uh, mainly around the same offloading, but from not from just from the cloud native side, even from the VM domains also. For some of these enterprises, where they use the VM-based workloads, offloading network and storage is still a very important use case. So he would like to explain and discuss those use cases also. So we can either do it in the TSC next week, or he'll say he'll just introduce in the next governing board call, or he can join, or even Ranjit next week or a week after that, he will discuss with Krishna and explain, bring it into the TSC.
Makes sense. And thanks for talking to Krishna already.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Sridhar, the only thing I'd like to mention to the governing board is a call for additional maintainers on the repos, on the project.
Okay.
We've talked about that in the past, and so I'd like to discuss that again with them if at all possible.
Okay.
So you feel that we could increase our throughput if we had more?
I do feel like we could increase our throughput if we had additional maintainers.
Okay, because we did bring that up before, and the maintainers themselves weren't that enthusiastic. So
Yes, I know. I think it comes down to finding maintainers they trust to do the work that needs to be done in the way they would like to get it done. I know I'm not that person. So we need to move it faster than it works now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
agree.
There is another approach to consider, which had always been rejected, for the first 2 years of the project, which is we don't have maintainers in the way that we do now. In other words, we allow people to create branches and commit code. And when you go to publish releases or, hey, this is completely working, it's been reviewed, it's now official. Otherwise, you just let people put stuff on branches and certify their own PRs and let them work in a more direct way. Now, the issue there is it can lead to chaos, and you don't have control anymore. The benefit is you might get a lot more contributions because people don't have this massive procedural overhead gated by a few individuals who may or may not care about what you're doing enough to put the work in, and no one's paid to be a maintainer. So that was put in place originally when we had a very large project with very tight controls. It's also appropriate if we were writing a standard, although even there, most people allow you to contribute comments and alternates, and then editors go in and figure it out. But usually those are where you have very motivated companies and a set of them driving the standard. That is not the case we have in OPI any longer. So I'm just throwing it out there as something that ought to be discussed, and maybe even discussed at the board level, is an alternative to trying to recruit new maintainers who meet the standards, who will do the work from the relatively limited pool of personnel and budget we have available, because we might have people who are willing, but they can't afford the time, the budget to do that work in addition. The other thing we can do is we could set up, in theory, we could set up an AI, I'll call it sanity check, because again, those things aren't really good enough to be full reviewers without a fair bit of hand holding, although they can make you more efficient. They could be just a sanity check. And again, the ability to have multiple branches, although the problem is chaos. Anyway, I'll stop. But that's something that's occurred to me over the last month of doing some other work and knowing about this problem.
So Joe, thanks a lot for your suggestions. I will I'll represent those points to the board. I'm going to suggest that they will push back and say that those kind of aspects of decisions for the TSC, but we will see what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take the. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want to jump off the deep end, but people should go. I think we should think about this seriously because I think the bottlenecks we've had in the past actually hurt us. Although I didn't have a good way out of that at the time.
Right.
You know, as
Oh,
TSC chair at that time.
yeah, I didn't mean to dismiss your thoughts. I agree
No, I
that
know
we
that.
should
I'm just saying,
get.
this is a tough area, and I understand there are valid pushbacks. On the other hand, it looks to me like we're at a point, again, reading the notes and attending, as many meetings as I can, that we're at an inflection point here.
Yep, we need
Okay.
to make sure the process matches the situation we're in, right?
Yes, sir, exactly. So perfect. Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot. So one more thing I would like to bring up. Simon and all, we are already in April mid, right? We in the beginning of the year we said that TSC will target at least 2 blueprints this year. So we're already in April and we haven't started one more blueprint. Is this a time to consider maybe the academia approach also in parallel so that we don't miss the target? Or even TSA approves maybe a third party or SI approach also. But SI approach would be the last one, I would believe.
Correct. I mean, do we have anything in any candidates at the moment
For the academia?
no, for anything. Do we have any blueprint candidates at all?
See, for now, we had two things, right? One is a proposal from VYOS, and
Yep.
there were also proposals from World Tech IT, and there were also proposal from, I think, NTT were also talking about similar thing what Sagar was mentioning, UPF
Yep.
offloading or something like that. So they're all in discussion, in discussion happening. In fact, for the next step for the VYOS, I also mentioned to Krishna earlier. Ranjit, you can also take a look at it. If VBIOS is waiting to hear from us, if any of our vendor would be keen to work with them to come up with this blueprint solution for with them. So if Intel is interested, we can straight away go take it up and do the first blueprint, of course. And World Tech IT also came up with 3 proposals, which we can take it up depending on the interest from our members. Of course, the DPU IPU vendor is one of the important aspect here. If
I mean, it seems to me we have a number there somewhere between 4 and 5. And I think if I count correctly, I think we should evaluate them and rank them
Yeah.
in terms of preference, and if any of them look sufficiently promising, try to push them forwards. And I think once we've completed that, hopefully short exercise, we can answer your question. So I guess the question is who will do that?
Who will do what? Sorry.
I think we need to evaluate
Yeah.
the current proposals, and if let's just be, in the worst case, none of them are promising. So yes, we need to look in other avenues. In the more likely case, a couple of them are promising, and we can follow up on them. Is my view.
Okay. Okay. So let me go ahead and create kind of a status document or maybe a dashboard kind of a thing. It could be a wiki sheet itself of all the
Yep.
proposals we have in our hand now and what is the current
Yep.
status, who proposed it, and what could be the next steps. And then we will call for the discussion and see how it goes in next 2, 3 weeks.
Yes. We may need to have a less public discussion. I'm not sure. But yes, if you could create the dashboard, I think that would be excellent start.
Okay. Okay, sir. I will do that. Anything else? Anybody? If not, I'll be back here 24 minutes. Have a great week ahead. See you all next week.
Thank you much.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.